Hey, ladies and gents, how's it going? Hope you've had a fan-fucking-tastic day and an even better evening. This is the first episode of The Round Table right here on the Fandom Empire YouTube channel. I'm your host, Sage, and joining me this evening are the guys that you heard way back over on the Mixler broadcasts for the last on and off couple of years, depending on what show it's been. First up, he's the man behind the curtain. He's not in the main event of the evening, but he still is Tommy B. What's happening, man?
Hey, Sage. Hey, it's definitely been a Monday on over here, but we're right on back where we started, just like normal, right on over here at the round table. How are you
Good,
hanging there
man.
today?
Good. Don't worry. For those that might have seen our little Indiana Jones 5 video, I'm not planning some massive blow up at some point today. Although there might be a little bit of one on one topic we get to. It won't go quite as, shall we say, loud. Also joining us this evening, he's the snob from the red carpet, Mr. Hollywood himself. It's Hollywood Rebel. What's happening, man?
What's going on, man? Pretty good to be here. I have to leave work early to, cure an ear infection, but I'm good.
An ear infection. I thought you were gonna.
Yep. Yeah. Rolling the show with a cotton ball in one ear.
Sounds kinky. Also joining us this evening, he's our Dark Zordon. Actually, no, we can see he has a shirt. He's not just a floating head anymore. And it's an Inner Circle shirt at that. It's Mick Fizzle. What's happening, man?
I'm just trying to wrap my head around what possible fetish you have that a cotton ball in your ear is kinky. You know what? Don't answer the question, though. Let's just leave it unanswered and let our audience... I don't know what to say to that other than to say it's great to be here. Let's get on with the show.
No, guys, let's dive right into it. We have 5. That's right, 5 featured topics for this show. We will have 5 featured topics every show. We get to the most important ones first, and there will be little time left for the last couple. It's just the way she goes sometimes, and first up, we're going to the land of the pirates. That's right, Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean. We got some rumors, reports. I dare not call it news due to you got a lot of terrible sources reporting on this, but a few okay ones. And it would appear that Disney is set to bring back Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow in the Pirates of the Caribbean series. Whether this happens or not, after rumors it might not happen for the last year or so, remains to be seen. The real thing that we're going to talk about here, whether you're a big fan of Pirates or you've never seen Pirates, the fact is the franchise has been made by Johnny Depp. It's not like we got a movie full of Orlando Bloom with no Depp. Fizz, I'm going to go over to you first. I know we were pretty into the Pirates movies when we were a little younger. We're sitting here now a couple years, 2-3 years removed from the last movie, which was at best. And still, though, could they have done Pirates of the Caribbean and even been moderately successful without Johnny Depp, and is bringing him back the right move?
I don't know. I mean, it's a franchise that was built on the success of one character, which is not what you want in what's supposed to be an ensemble cast. It was an unfortunate side effect of, the charisma that was Captain Jack Sparrow. Johnny just embodied that essence and made it something bigger than the films they were in, and it was detrimental to the possible success of the series without him. And that's unfortunate for Disney because Pirates of the Caribbean has potential to be a saga of stories that doesn't need one individual character, but that's not what happened. And without Captain Jack, there is no pirates, and it wouldn't work.
The one thing that I would like to see happen is I'm okay if he's not the main character in the movie. Like, I would like to see him be the Han Solo of The Force Awakens of the next Pirates movie. Have him come in, halfway through the movie. Hell, have him come in the last act. Not as. I don't want him to be Luke Skywalker of The Force Awakens, where he's literally in the last 30 seconds and says nothing. But you could have him on screen for the whole less is more thing. Tommy B, over to you. I'm not sure if you've even seen a Pirates movie. I'm assuming you have at some point. But would this franchise work going forward without Johnny Depp?
Well, no. And I say no in line with the main movies. I think the franchise has had enough success where spin-offs could be a real consideration. Maybe for the more hardcore Pirates fans, it's even been discussed already, maybe even at the official levels. I'm not that hardcore of a Pirates fan. I enjoy the first several movies. The more recent ones, meh. But yeah, we need Captain Jack. We need him. We need him as the movies currently stand. And I would be quite disappointed if he was just suddenly cut out of the franchise as it is.
Yeah, and I mean, they don't need a reboot either. Like, you don't. All right, let's hit the reboot button because we can't think of anything new. Fuck a reboot. I know I've seen that going around. Let's like really make his character mean something. You don't have to kill the character off, but you could, and you could make it meaningful and make it stick this time, and have him play. Like, I really do think the Han Solo role in The Force Awakens should be the type of role they should be looking at in the next Pirates, and have him sort of be the mentor to a younger character or two, and make sure the castings are right. Hollywood, how about you? Do you have much experience with the Pirates franchise, and will this work without Mr. Depp or not?
I have no experience with the Pirates franchise. Haven't seen a single movie. But as far as it working, like even to me, somebody that's not seen it, like so, Captain Jack Sparrow is the Pirates of the Caribbean. That's all I know. So like to approach me and say, "Hey, we're making another Pirates movie." No, Captain Jack. I just don't think you could do it. But that's to me is someone that hasn't seen one whose only experience is like the pirate is Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, no, hey, I'm with you with that completely. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Like I said, there was no like report from Hollywood Reporter, Variety, or Deadline, or EW. It was none of those guys. And I was really scared to even talk about this because I seen We Got This Covered ran it, and I mean they're as dreadful as it gets. But I seen a couple other of the I call them B or C sites run it themselves. So we'll see what happens. It makes sense to bring them back, but put some thought into the movie. Don't rush out a movie for the sake of rushing it out. These movies make anywhere from $800 million to $1 billion, so they're big for Disney. Do it properly. That would be my advice to them. What do you guys think, though? Let us know in the comment section below. Do you think Johnny Depp and Captain Jack should return for a Pirate 6? Or do you think it's time to move on? Let us know in the comment section below, and we'll keep this train moving on to topic number 2, which is, I know it says Star Wars The High Republic on the screen right now, and yes, that is sort of where we're going, but it has been confirmed, that's right, it has been confirmed that the Star Wars movies for 2022, 2024, and 2026 are still, in fact, on the release docket for Disney Plus, or not Disney Plus, pardon me, Disney's theatrical release schedule. There was some talk lately that those movies would be at least briefly pulled. That has not happened. They're still where they sit. Fizz, I'm going to send it over to you first. Do you think that these movies are going to happen, whether they're a trilogy or not? And do you think these are the movies that will be the High Republic movies?
I don't honestly know. Because just because they still appear on the release schedule doesn't mean jack squat. That's the super tentative things we have planned schedule. That's not the things we started working on schedule. That's not the, things that actually have cast, crew, and, work products. This is the tentative schedule of things we're planning to do. And it's very easy for something to get pulled from that schedule and be replaced by something else, or even just not replaced at all because it's a Disney schedule and there's like a bajillion films on that slate.
I mean, to their credit, though, since the last time they released their schedule, they have removed a few things from there, and Star Wars was not one of them. So, I mean, I do think you can read a little bit into that. You definitely can't, sign it and stamp it for approval and say it's a done deal, it's happening. But I think it's not bad news.
No, it continues to show the intent behind the corporate juggernaut that is still to release some sort of Star Wars in cinemas over the course of the next decade. And, I mean, that makes sense from a business standpoint because Star Wars is, huge. It's a cash cow. Even the bad movies make hundreds of millions of dollars. So, there's still money to be made from this universe. It's just a question of what are they. I don't know if this is going to be the High Republic because you can't ever be 100% certain about what something is. Especially with the way things have gone with the Obi-Wan series. That's entirely up in the air right now and can just as easily become one of those films and have absolutely nothing to do with the High Republic. So, are these films about the High Republic? Maybe, possibly. I think it's going to depend on, critical response to the books when they actually come out. Are fans actually going to be invested in this era, in the far gone past? And that's going to determine, where future films are set, where future projects are set. And only time will tell. We have to wait until August to find out if fans are actually as into the High Republic as early, as early people indicate they are.
I think that there's no doubt it's the High Republic, in my opinion. That's, I mean, maybe I wouldn't be as confident without, the making Star Wars stuff, but is what it is. Tommy B, you seeing this still on the release schedule? Is it given how much negative shit has been out there over the years of Star Wars, is this at least a little bit of a positive sign for you? And do you think this is the High Republic stuff?
Well, let me remind you, and this is a compliment in some ways, that only a Sith deals in absolutes.
Compliment for me.
I don't even think they know what they're doing out there. I don't think they know what they're doing at Lucas. I think these, tentative movie years that we got going on there, they could just as easily flip-flop some of them ideas right now. They could change them around, put a new one in, but I don't think anything is cemented. It is tentative. There is a tentative nature to all of that. Now, considering the way the announcement's been presented to us and all, I really, really, really do expect that a High Republic movie could be among that. All three, I'm a little more skeptical about that. I want to believe this is going to be a trilogy. I think they just want to get back to a regular cycle of film releases. And I know that does conflict a little bit with what's come out in the reports, what's rumored, what's been confirmed, what's been denied, what's been flip-flopped. Look, recent history, past several months, I don't take anything for an absolute anymore. I'm just, I'll take it as it comes. I think we are too far out to make any strong all or nothing predictions on this. But as it stands, I think there's a good chance that we can see the High Republic among those films that are announced.
I don't think the High Republic stuff's going to be a trilogy. I think it's going to be more of a film series type thing. And I think that we're not as far out as you think. I think that we're not going to get details, but we're going to get a rough confirmation at Celebration of what the next Star Wars movie is going to be and when we might see it. It's going to bring us to our next topic, though, which is Star Wars again. We will let Hollywood chime in on this one since it's more of a right and wrong thing rather than anything else. And as you see on your screen there, that is none other than Emperor Palpatine from the Rise of Skywalker. It has come out officially. I guess I'll put a minor spoiler alert out there. That in the novel of the Rise of Skywalker, Emperor Palpatine is in fact confirmed to be a clone. That's right. The body is a clone body inhabited by the dead spirit of Palpatine, and it can't contain his power, so it is just decaying, which is very much like Dark Empire. I have my own thoughts on this, which I'm gonna save. We're gonna let Hollywood in on this first. Hollywood, the thing I have to ask you, even though you haven't seen the movie, I know you're sitting there going, "How the fuck am I going to say anything on this?" It's really simple. All the Star Wars fans just wanted an explanation as to how he's back in the movie, which we did not get. However, this novel, which has been pretty much completed right around the time the movie was released, has it in it. Did they make the right decision by not including this reason in the movie? Or did they make the wrong decision by leaving it out of the movie?
I mean, I don't know what y'all Star Wars fans want. You're being too picky. Just like let it be. He's back. Does it matter? But I mean, I don't know. As an outsider, the reasoning sounds kind of weird in the novel, but there you go. I guess they should have put it in the movie to make everybody happy, but then people would have bitched. I don't know.
You're not wrong. Tommy B, dude, we've been talking about this long before we seen it on screen. Now we know how he was back. Are you pissed that we didn't get it on screen? Or are you fine they just had it in the novel?
Honestly, it's a little refreshing that they brought it up in the novel. I don't typically read novelizations of films. I may have read one or two in the past. It is very Dark Empire-esque. I just happen to have this in Reach right here, the novelization. I just keep that around.
I need to get my hands on one of those.
I picked it up at a sale, used. I think I picked it up from a comic book shop, maybe. It's a great story, and it's very encouraging because when the acquisition happened, now at this point, all those years ago, it was like a reset button to a certain extent, and we lost so much. They've slowly weaved some of the more beloved elements back into place. We got Maul living, even with the cybernetic enhancements. We got, old Palpy living, and we have conflicting feelings on this, of course. But, we have the clone elements. We have Thrawn, but, different manifestation. I'm running a little bit far with this topic here, but I'll just end it by saying I am happy that they brought this element of the EU or Legends universe back, quote-unquote, into the canon storyline, and I hope it's not the end. I hope we do see more of our old beloved timeline in, coming across our perspectives again as time goes on.
Fizz, I'm going to go, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
Are you fucking kidding me? 20 seconds. That's all you needed. 20 fucking seconds to say what we just said. Oh, it's a clone body that's decaying that his spirit has taken over. 20 seconds to give us a reason. We didn't know if he fell down the fucking Death Star shaft and stopped himself with the Force from imploding and maybe just his body was torn. We didn't know how the fuck he was in the movie. Holy fuck, lazy fucking storytelling. Like, are you kidding me? Give me a fucking break. Hey, I am not a fan of Rian Johnson's Last Jedi. I'm probably going to say it a billion more times. If you've been listening on Mixler for the last 2 years, I've already said it a billion times. I'm going to say it a billion more. Get used to it. But you know what his vision was? Definitive and clear. And holy fuck, the fact that you could not include a reason in a 2 hour and 20-minute movie as to how this guy's back, but it literally takes 2 fucking lines in the book to be like, this is the reason why. Feels like a slap in the face for everybody that fucking paid money to go see this fucking movie. Should we be surprised? It's Lucasfilm. Of course we shouldn't be surprised. Holy fuck, they can't tie their shoes right anymore, let alone get a fucking movie right. Jeez. All right. I think I'm done. Yes, it was the wrong...
Yeah, I don't think we're going to be getting any endorsements from Lucas anytime soon now at this
I
point.
wouldn't suspect, but like, I can't believe that they can sum it up in 2 lines in a fucking book, but they can't sum it up in 20 seconds in a movie. You couldn't find 20 seconds of time. No, we had to focus on
Well, you know, all we can
hyperspace
do is
jumping.
hope that there's something coming when the film comes out on, you know, Blu-ray and the 4K and DVD and all. Maybe we have some good deleted scenes. Maybe. Yeah, deleted scenes, if they were even made. Yes.
What a fucking crock. Fizz?
I thought we discussed this, that you weren't supposed to go before people when you're going to rant like that, because nobody can follow it. Didn't we have this discussion in a production meeting like a week and a half ago? I mean, geez, I'm going to have to start having George go ahead and just keep production notes for you again,
well, you
aren't
know
I?
what?
I mean,
sure
you're
George
getting,
can make
you're
a
getting,
production go a little smoother than, you know, the person with the initials KK.
that, no comment.
By the way, in
No
case anyone
comment.
was wondering, I actually do love Star Wars. Might not seem like it. I do love Star Wars. I mean, I love Star Wars. That's why
We're the
I
hater
got pissed
gang.
off about it.
We're the hater gang.
I enjoyed The Rise of Skywalker. It's an okay movie. It's not good. It's not great. It's not bad. It's a fucking mess. And this is just another example as to why. Fizz, I know I said I wouldn't rant before you could give your 2 cents, but I thought I really kept it down so you could like get in there with your own. Like, you got to be a little bit pissed off from this because I know you're on record of saying it's the one thing you needed from this film.
Yeah, yeah, I did say that, but I guess hindsight being at what it is, I don't know. I mean, I feel like having it be explained in 2 lines in a novel is easier than the film, because the film you'd have to do a bit more than that. You know, I don't think you could just throw that line away and have it, you know, that be that, and then have people be happy about it. Then we'd be arguing, well, they didn't explain it well enough. When did he make these clones? How many more clones are there? You know, how come we haven't heard about this clone in the 35 years since Jedi? I mean, where has it been? What has he been doing?
You mean kind of like the dyad and the Force? You know, that line that was just thrown in there out of nowhere, and we're just supposed to accept that as fact out of the blue?
Exactly. I mean, it's that principle that, you know, they didn't want to spend 20 minutes explaining Palp clones that they just figured read the novel, that'll explain it. And it's not unheard of for Star Wars to leave important plot elements for the novels. Now, this isn't the first time they've done this to us. So it's not that unfathomable for me as a fan for them to leave something in the novels for, fans to chew at that we didn't already know. So I'm not surprised by this. I knew there would be something in the novels that wasn't in the films that fans would go, "Oh my god, that makes so much sense." And once we didn't get the Palp reveal or explanation, I personally started to assume that that's where we'd get it. Did I expect clone? It was one of a few options that would have made sense to me. So I just, I'm sure at some point they'll explain it in more depth.
My other fucking problem with this is, let's wipe out Legends. Let's just kill it so we can go back and redo everything Legends did with a slightly different spin on it. And on that, we're moving on. We got some Spider-Man speculation to get to here, and Hollywood's like, yes, a topic that I actually have some considerable knowledge on. Mwah. That's right. We got some Spider-Man 3 speculation here, and everyone's wondering where this movie's going to go, what direction it's going to take. We do believe that Tom Holland is going to start to play a bit of a role in the Venom franchise. And does Venom make his way into Spider-Man 3? But the real big question is, and a lot of people think there's a chance this might happen, is it started off as just like a weak rumor to the point where you've had a site like Deadline pick up on it, that the whole notion that, Sony's endgame for Spider-Man might in fact for them to have Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Tobey Maguire all on screen together. And it seemed like a pipe dream. It may still be a pipe dream, but the fact that more higher-ups are talking about this as a real possibility and that those conversations have happened has got to make you go, holy fuck, that, for me, that would be my Spider-Man endgame. Red carpet boy, Hollywood. Is this something you want? Can they pull it off? Should they pull it off?
Give me more Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Forget about Andrew Garfield. But, you can't have just one. So, yeah, bring it on. I would love that. If Sony's going to keep having their hands in Spider-Man, which they are, it's all about the money. So, yeah, bring it on. I want that. I want that against the Sinister Six. Bring it on. Those three, Sinister Six. Let's go.
Forget Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man?
I can't stand
He is the best Spider-Man. He had the worst movies, but he is the best Spider-Man. He's the best.
Yeah.
You can't be the best Spider-Man and be in the worst movies. It's just it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, no. Tom Holland's the best Spider-Man.
No.
Tobey Maguire's the one I enjoyed the most.
Andrew Garfield.
We are all repping different teams here. It's a little unusual.
Tommy B, man, do you think them combining three different Spider-Man universes, three different cinematic Spider-Man universes together for a Spider-Man Endgame type film in the future is a good idea or just one big clusterfuck?
Man, I remember back when Spider-Man, the cinematic stuff was so easy to follow. So, however many years ago that was now, and now we got all this timeline and that Spider-Man. Too much of a clusterfuck. I can't follow all this shit. I get confused who's who. I've never been good with actors, actresses to begin with. Oh my goodness. Having said that, I get the feeling from the fans and the whispers, rumors I've heard along the rumor mill and the water cooler. This is what people want. People want to see Venom. They want all this. So why not? Give them what they want. Do I see it happening? No. No. I don't see it happening. Too big. It's too much to make happen at once. Movies, the cinematic universes, it's all political. It's all too political. There's
What?
too much BS that goes into it.
I'm not touching that one with a 10-foot pole. Fizz, this thing gonna happen? Do you want it to happen?
Is this thing gonna happen? No. No. It's a pipe dream. There's too many. I guess the too many chiefs, not enough Indians. Yeah, that sounds racially insensitive.
Like, I'm
but
sitting right here. Like,
but it's just what it is. It would have to serve too many masters to be a viable project, because it doesn't make a lot of sense to me that it's going to happen. I think there's too many egos to make that work. Would I enjoy it? Sure, I'd enjoy it. The Spider-Verse is something I've actually grown to love in the multiverse of Marvel. Seeing all the different spiders come together, I enjoy that in all its forms. Whether it's comics, whether it's video games, whether it's movies, I enjoy it because it's fun. Because Spider-Man is a character that you can tell so many different ways, yet at the end of the day, have each and every one of them be Spider-Man. Like, I would love Spider-Man Noir on the big screen. I think that'd be amazing to have him come face to face with, with Tom Holland. No, I don't. But there are definitely people out there who could do it and make it fun, that would be enjoyable. I like the idea behind it, but the execution of it, I think, would be nigh on impossible. That if they even attempted to really do it, would probably cause the implosion of the Spider-Verse at Sony.
well, the question is, will we see the trio of cinematic Spider-Mans unite in one big Spider-Man Endgame-ish type film? The rumor is, pay attention to the next Doctor Strange film, because that could be a reason how. If I was a betting man, I'd say it doesn't happen, but someone over in Disney's sitting there going, or in Sony, or in both, is going, this makes a lot of sense. I'd be more the Sony camp than the Disney camp. But do you guys want to see the three Spider-Mans unite on screen? Let us know in the comment section below. We want to hear what you have to think, unless you disagree with us, in which case you can. No, I'm kidding. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. All film is subjective, unless you're McMahon, in which case you're just wrong. Up next, we have, that's right, some Uncharted news. Not only do they have a new director, they have added Antonio Banderas to the project. That's right, Uncharted is back on. Tom Holland as Nathan Drake. And I think I said Nathan Drake. It's Nathan Drake. He's
what did Nathan drink?
The water. Come on, Fizz. Anyway, Tom Holland, Nathan Drake, Uncharted, back on. Antonio Banderas, now attached to the project as well. New director in the director's seat. Looks like this movie's finally going to happen. I have two questions for you guys on this one. Could this be the first great video game movie? And is Tom Holland the right choice for Nathan Drake? I'm going to start with Fizz.
Well, the answer to those questions are the same. No. You cannot have the greatest comic book film ever created when you've horribly missed. I love Tom. I enjoy him a great deal. He is my favorite Spider-Man of the cinematic Spider-Mans. He's way too young to play Nathan Drake. Nathan is meant to be the older, grizzled archaeologist, a la younger. He's Raiders of the Lost Ark Indiana Jones, not young Indiana Jones. And that's what we've got here. We've got young Indiana Jones trying to do Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work as much as I enjoy the thought process behind it. If Tom wants to come back and do this in 5 to 10 years, great. He'll be old enough to be Nathan Drake by then. But right now, he is too young. he should not be Nathan Drake, and because of that, the entire project is doomed to failure. In my eyes.
Well, thank you, Negative Nancy. Over to snobby red
Hot
carpet
pedal.
guy. Hollywood, what's happening, man? One, will it be the first great video game movie? And two, can Tom Holland be good as Nathan Drake?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with McMahon here. I just I don't see where you can have the wrong casting for the main character and it be great. I kind of agree. Tom Holland is not Nathan Drake right now.
Well, this is not going my way. Tommy B, you have any experience with the Uncharted games? And if so, do you think Tom Holland can pull off Nathan Drake and still have this be a great movie?
No, I don't, but I'm going to give you a generic question here real quick. Give me one good video game movie.
Resident Evil 2? And that's iffy. Okay.
I do believe just a couple weeks ago you were bitching that all the Resident Evil movies suck.
The only good one.
I don't know.
And, Resident Evil. Oh, Resident. I just said that. Detective Pikachu. I thought was really well done.
Personally, I'll take the first Tomb Raider movie.
Detective Pete. Well,
back when Angelina Jolie was hubba hubba.
Smoking?
Okay. Well, what direction I was going there with that is I am of the opinion that video games do not make good movies. Every video game movie I have ever, seen announced or whatnot that I have had any invested interest in has always been canceled. The only one that comes to mind currently is Halo. Gears of War. Yep. Can't forget about that. Any video game movie I have ever had any invested interest in has always been canceled. I do not believe video games make inherently good movies. I hope one day I will be proven wrong. Only time will tell.
Make good movies, but there's great source material there, but for whatever reason, it's a curse of sorts.
Look, if you're not a giant, massive, mega franchise like Star Wars, where you can have good everything because you can just throw $1 billion at it and say, make this, and generally get something that's some people will like, it's always going to be a hit or miss thing. And I feel like the movies, with games, they're generally miss.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't.
You're not wrong.
But with that said, that brings us into our next segment of the show, which out of all the screens I prepared, I forgot to prepare a title screen for this segment. And that is the list of 7. The way this works, everybody, is we're given a topic a day or two ahead of time, and we go back and make our own lists of 7. Tonight's list of 7 is our favorite video games of all time. So at least the video game movie stuff was a good segue into this. So we're looking for our 7 favorite video games of all time. The way it's going to work is I'm going to give my number 7 and number 6. Tommy B is going to give his, and then McMahon, and then Hollywood, and then we'll each go one at a time as we get into our top 5s. Now, what's different on this one than our previous Mixler incarnation of this show is after that, we will close the show out with our official combined list of a top 7. So what happens is if we had a video game rated at number 1, it was worth 7 points. Number 2, 6 points, all the way down to number 7, 1 point. And we have compiled a list of our absolute top 7 favorite video games, and that's what we'll get to at the end. But I'm going to kick things off and make sure I don't do this wrong by pulling out my list and not reading the wrong name off of it. My number 7 on my list is NASCAR '09, a game that I met Hollywood here on, and many other people, and it was just had some longevity to it, something games don't have nowadays. So that was cool. And my number 6 was a game that I would shit kick McMahon on, Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 2005.
I don't know what reality you're living in, but it's not real, buddy. I'm sorry.
Tommy B?
So my number 7 and number 6 came in pretty close with each other, and you could really tell what era of gaming I spent most of my time in, I guess you could say, what have you. Number 7, I put down probably the most recent game on this list, Dragon Ball Fighters or Fighter Z. And number 6, I had The Simpsons Hit and Run. Had that back on the PS2. Fantastic game.
McMahon and I just made...
Beats Grand Theft Auto any day.
Oh, okay. Let's
Okay,
lay
yeah,
off
you've gone
the
a bit too far there,
cocaine.
bud.
I hear it's still illegal down there in the U.S. Hey, I'm not a big Simpsons guy, but I remember playing that game at a couple of parties, and it was fun. But it's not Grand Theft fucking Auto. You've obviously taken too many blows to the head driving the.
Don't be a hater. You're getting on that hater.
Fizz, please, something less discouraging.
They're great games, Thomas, but Grand Theft Auto they are not. All right. This list was easy and difficult all at the same time. There are games not on it that probably should be on it, and there are games that, well, there's none on it that shouldn't be on it, I'll say that, but there's definitely some omissions. I need like 4 honorable mentions to make a complete list, but, we don't have that, so we'll just kick it right off. Number 7 is a game that I still play from time to time in its original form as well as its remastered forms. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. It's... Come on. Do I really need to say anything about it? And number 6 is a game that, is amazing. It's phenomenal. It's, without question, the greatest first-person shooter ever made. It is the most fun to play with a large group of people. And it's amazing. GoldenEye is my number 6.
It's kind of low, but at least it made the list. Here's a hot take for you. Ocarina of Time, as
the heck happened to my... There we go.
Disappears into oblivion and is back. Hot take for you is Ocarina of Time is good. Majora's Mask is better.
Ooh. I can't really go wrong with that take. They're both amazing, but I think Ocarina is more fun. It gets repetitive having to go through the same 3-day cycle after a while.
Hollywood?
All right, so starting my list at number 7, I've got the original Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis. That was kind of my entry to gaming. For some reason, my grandparents had that back in the day. And number 6 is NCAA Football 14. It's the last one they made. I'm praying that they make another one someday. That would be like my favorite day ever, other than when I got married. But yeah, I love the football games. So
nice save there, Rebel. Nice save.
Which brings us into our top 5, which is good shit here because my number 5 starts with the game. I know the 3 of the 4 of us played together at times, and that was Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
My number 5 came in at Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah, that would have probably slipped in one of those honorable mention slots I said I needed. My number 5, again, game I still play, Knights of the Old Republic.
Great game. A little low on the list for me again, but Hollywood, what's your number 5, man?
my My number 5 is in the same vein as Sage is there, but it's Modern Warfare 2. Prefer 2 over 1, but they're pretty much interchangeable.
I prefer 1 over 2, but I miss 2. I wish we'd get a really good remaster of 2. I'd like to get my hands on that as well. It brings us into number 4. Number 4 for me is Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, a game that was incomplete and yet still so fucking good that it makes it up to number 4 on the list. And to me, it's the one Star Wars game that you can play even more so than the first one, that has almost like a suspenseful horror movie atmosphere to it. And hell, we're going to be covering Knights of the Old Republic here in the summer at some point, and maybe we'll get around to covering 2 as well.
My number 4 I had on over there was Jak 3 from the Jak and Daxter series on over PlayStation, Sony exclusive. I thought that was the best game of that franchise.
I did not expect a Jak and Daxter. I was more of a Ratchet and Clank guy myself. All right, my number 4 is probably one of the greatest professional wrestling games ever created, WWF No Mercy.
I never got to play No Mercy, believe it or not.
That's just blasphemy.
My number 4 is a game that when I originally started making the list, it was higher, and then it slowly got bumped down. But it's my entry to online gaming, and without it, I'm probably not here today. It's Halo 2.
I didn't really care much for Halo 1 other than that base map everybody played, and you could play it for free on PC. But Halo 2 was awesome. Halo 2 was like, for me, it was my precursor to Gears of War, really. And no complaints there. It doesn't make my top 7, but no complaints there.
Hollywood, what was that? That was Blood Gulch, right? That sounds... That free map, yeah, that was Blood Gulch, I think, on Combat Evolved.
You had a base on one side, a base on the other side, a Warhog. It was like a mountain.
It was Blood Gulch, yeah. I spent a lot of time on Combat Evolved on the PC years after it. I was in a couple AMVs, actually.
Blood Gulch is like the online TV show Red vs. Blue. That's like where it got started.
Remember Halo Cribs? That was hilarious. Hilarious shit if you've never seen that. But it's podium time, guys. Number 3, GoldenEye, because if you don't have it in your top 3, you're just wrong.
Now you see, I'm going to give a little bit of background right here. Pull my fan card. You can see I tried to give a little diversity to my list. And so that's why Knights of the Old Republic is not on my list. Otherwise, my entire list could have been just Star Wars games. My number 3 was Star Wars Battlefront 2, the original one.
I remember that game. I mean, when you constantly win at a game for so long, obviously it's enjoyable. And the amount of success that I enjoyed playing that game still lives with me to this day.
And what Sage has just told you is complete proof that when you lose it again, as he did, that eventually you will suffer some degree of brain damage, thus allowing your mind to hallucinate your success when in fact you were a giant epic failure.
Boom! Someone got burned.
I'm sorry. All I'm hearing is all I do is win in my head. So,
you know who plays that? Losers. Because real winners play We Are the Champions.
Alrighty, podium time.
Alright, we're up to me, right? That's where we're at here. Alright. My number 3, I guarantee I'm the only guy with this game on his list. In fact, I dare say I'm the only guy in this group who's ever even put any substantial amount of time playing into this game. But any game that you can sit and play for thousands of hours and have it be as fun in hour 2,678. I have no idea if that's my actual count, but it's probably close to it. Have it be as fun as hour 2, because it takes the first hour to figure out how to actually play the game. Ark Survival Evolved. Any game that puts you on an island wearing nothing but underwear, where you have to craft weapons and harvest food and survive and build houses, and oh yeah, the island is inhabited by dinosaurs that you can tame and ride around. I mean, who doesn't imagine riding around on the back of a T-Rex?
So it's Minecraft with dinosaurs?
Whoa.
Pretty much.
Whoa. Minecraft is for children. This is Minecraft for adults.
Hey, homie, I still like
Right.
Minecraft. Yeah.
Hollywood, where's your podium start?
Yeah, so my number 3 is my favorite story game. I mean, it had online, but like it's my favorite story that I've ever had in a game. It's the original Red Dead Redemption.
I love that game. I still haven't even beat the second one. I just haven't had time. Hell, I haven't even played the second one online, which I think would be a lot of fun to do too. But that first one, yeah, there was some longevity out of that game too. It was legendary. My runner-up, this was tough because these two go head and head, and I think I probably flip-flop on these from day to day, but my number 2 is probably the game I've gotten the most longevity out of in my life, Gears of War.
My number 2 came in at Halo 2. I am a giant Halo fan. I still love to this day everything that is happening in the franchise. Never did get too invested in the RTS games, Halo Wars, though. But yeah, Halo 2, that was honestly probably the first Halo game I ever played, and to this day, it remains at the top of my Halo list. Favorite game of the franchise.
All right, for me, again, like I said about Ark, is a game that I've put in thousands of hours playing over the course of 10 years, and like Sate said about the NASCAR game, met a lot of amazing people playing it, people that I consider honest to God friends, which is something that is hard to find in the online gaming environment. But Gears of War is my number 2. It's a game I could still sit down and play and maybe even be a little bit competitive. I enjoy it so much.
So much that we really need to get back to playing a little bit of that, even if it's just the re-release. I've been craving some Gears lately, and I know there's still people around that love that game. Hollywood, what's your runner-up, my man?
So number 2 for me is NCAA football 13. Yeah, I know I had 14 on the list earlier because it's probably the better game. But as far as like my memories and so when this game came out in 2012, I was, like a senior in high school or whatever. So I remember talking to people like at school. It's the only game I ever played with like people that was like local at my school and stuff like that. Just the memories, and I love college football. So.
Brings us into our winners. Here we go. Number 1 for me. It's right. Released in 2003. The definition of how you tell a good and successful Star Wars story. Knights of the Old Republic. Never to be duplicated. Only to be built off of. And just can't wait to play through it again. It's incredible. Start to finish. Fuck you, Mission. Still hate you. Fucking blue bitch.
Leave her alone.
I'm gonna kill her again. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make Zalbar kill her. Because that's fun. That's fun to get to that island at the end and be like, yo, Zalbar, kill your bitch.
You're evil, okay? I've said it so often. You are evil.
She deserved it.
Evil.
She
Evil,
deserved
evil,
to
evil.
be screwed.
She did not deserve it.
There's going to come
Maybe,
a point
but
where I
not
can't
murder.
be on air with you all anymore. You all are just, you go too dark.
I don't go dark. I am good, okay? Play the game and have that nice blue hue around my characters. You know, I'm the good guy.
Oh yeah, Mr.
Sage,
Oh,
evil.
Minecraft's only for children.
That's right. What does that have to do with good versus evil?
Tommy B, what's your winner here before I jump through my screen and strangle him?
My number one came in at one of the first video games for one of the first consoles I ever owned. Not the first, though. Super Mario 64. You can also take that just as easily and put it on the DS. Yeah, I played it on 3DS, but the DS. Hey, great game. Today, probably the best game I ever played, ever had the most fun out of. You know, ask me any other day of the week, my list might be a little bit different. This is a giant undertaking, figuring out what's on your favorite list. Super Mario 64 would probably always be, not number one, number two.
Well, Fizz brings us to your number one, man.
Well, you know, you talk about favorite video games, you talk about first video games, and for me, the two are one and the same. The first video game I can ever truly remember playing is my favorite video game of all time because of all of the happiness and enjoyment and great memories that are tied to it. My number one is Super Mario Brothers 3. I mean, come on. The game defined a generation. It's, for me, the greatest game in the history of games.
It's quite a statement. Quite a statement. Hollywood, finish us off here, man. That's what she said.
So I'm just realizing at this moment that I completely left the game off of my list. Doesn't change what my number one is, but it just really makes me regret my list. But my number one it's a game that's already been mentioned, but it's for the fact that the memories I made, the people I met, all the fun I had for years on end with this game. It's NASCAR 9.
I'm with you on that, man. It'll never be the same again, and grateful for all the years we had on that. Even the notebook, racetrack bar.
I was just excited. I'm still holding the notebook.
What was the game?
Katie!
What was the game you left off?
It was Pokemon Ruby. It was my first Pokemon game, and like for some reason, it really stands out in my mind. But it would have been like, I don't know. I don't even know where it would have been. I would have had to do
I
some
totally
changing.
get that, bud. I totally get that. I just realized about 5 minutes ago I am lacking any Pokemon games on this list of mine. It just narrowing down your favorite video games of all time
Here
to
we
7.
go.
It's an impossible undertaking. It really is. If you ask us any other day of the week, this list might be completely different.
Well, he asked us yesterday, so this is our list as of this
Yes, as of
second day in
Maybe
March.
we'll come back and
quarter till 11 Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight, whatever time. Yep, Eastern Time. There we go.
This is your list for March 1st and March 2nd, 2020. You can be okay with that.
maybe 2 years from now we'll come back and redo this list and compare the two. But hey, I loved Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Silver. I thought they were both great. So I hear you on there. They'd be definitely honorable mentions for me. But what you guys don't know is what our overall top 7 is. I know it. The 3 of these guys don't. You guys don't. Let's go over it here quickly as we get ready to wrap this show up. And number 7 is Super Mario 3. That's right. Super Mario 3 comes in the 7th spot. That is followed up by Super Mario 64 in the 6th spot. I remember playing this game in a Blockbuster and just being completely taken off guard by it because it was 3D, and it was like I missed just my side scroller Mario. What happened? What'd you do to it? Coming at number 5, Star Wars Battlefront 2 from 2005. Coming in at number 4, is arguably the most popular video game of all time, James Bond 007 GoldenEye. Coming in at number 3, mainly thanks to Hollywood's number 1 voting for it and my number 7 voting for it, is NASCAR 09. This is probably the only show you're going to hear that NASCAR 09 is the third most favorite game of Collective Group of all time. Coming in at number... Oh, I skipped one somewhere or did that wrong. No, number 3 was NASCAR. Coming in at number 2 is Knights of the Old Republic. Thank God for that. And coming in at number 1, Fizz, I think this warms both of our hearts. From Wonka to Chainsaw Chris to Reaver, Surge, Teyomo, Lady Ink, Mad World, and the countless other people that we met, it is the legendary game of Gears of War, rounding out the top 7 for this week. Let us know what your top 7 favorite video games are in the comment section below, and let us know what you thought of our list. Maybe you thought it was good, which would be great. Maybe you thought it was just okay, which would be great too. Maybe you thought it was a complete fucking dog shit, which might not be so great. But it is what it is. And with that, it's time to wrap this up. Hollywood Rebel, man, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for doing this, man. It's awesome to be able to visually see you guys while doing this.
Yeah, I mean, we all have a bunch of ugly mugs, but it'll be all right. It's all fun and games. It's fun doing it. So, till next time.
Yeah, Sage, you're not the one of us who should be offended at that comment, pal.
Tommy B, man behind the curtain, our very own Wizard of Oz, man. This change has been an interesting change. It's been a fun change. It's weird doing this, knowing there's nobody but the 4 of us listening to this right now, but knowing that people are going to be listening to this tomorrow it's different, but it's fun. Like I said, there's a chemistry element that's added to doing this when you visually see the other person, especially when they're wrapped in a towel. Gives you all sorts of kinky thoughts.
What
This is not a towel. This is a blanket.
Oh,
I
thought it was a
am
towel.
cold.
My bad.
I am fucking cold. I'm wearing my Darth Vader with a boombox shirt, but I don't have no long sleeve hoodie or nothing. I am fucking cold. I'm trying to stay warm so I don't freeze half to death out here at 11 o'clock at night Eastern whatever time. Hey, yeah, you know, this is an experience that's over the years, you know, all of our projects, I've been on cam with folks, different reasons, different times, but not really for something we were putting out there. So now doing the video exclusively, it's fun. I wouldn't go so far as to call y'all ugly. I think that's mean. I don't think I'm all that ugly. I think I have a higher sense of self-esteem than that.
Quit talking to everybody. It's okay.
It's fun. It's fun, and I'm looking forward to next week's round table for sure.
Fizz, thanks for doing this, man. Asshole.
Oh, whoa. Jeez, man. That's
One day
just,
you're going to tell people
wow.
about all the losing you did at Battlefront 2.
I know you are, and when you do, you will feel like the weight of the world has been lifted off your shoulders. Me, on the other hand, I'm perfectly fine living in the reality that I live in because it's real.
You need help.
Pot kettle.
Hollywood, you can catch him on Twitter at Reno_Ty. You can catch McMahon on Twitter at McMahon_fandom. You can catch Towel Boy or Blanket Boy or whatever the hell he's going by tonight. Wizard of Oz guy Tommy B at XAS1650. That's a beautiful middle finger. You can catch me, Sage, at Sage Fandom on Twitter. And don't forget, you can check us all out at Facebook. Our pages are Fandom Empire, Halloween Kills 2020, Star Wars The High Republic News, Supernatural Revisited, Darth Revan, and yes, for old school kicks, even a Star Wars Wastelands page that's not currently listed on that graphic. You can check our groups out, Fandom Empire Round Table, which is to this show, what do you know? The High Republic Alliance, the future of Star Wars, and so much more. You can also check us out on Twitter, platonically, obviously, because, we're taken. At Fandom Empire now on Twitter. Tweet us, and maybe we'll tweet back at you. And you can also get us at Instagram at Fandom Empire Now. Don't forget that this Wednesday, you can check us out, or check me out anyway, again, platonically taken, with the first episode of Inside and Out with Sage, as we sit down with David Vermillion, we talk Get Your Geek On, we talk Geek News Now, we talk everything that went down at Channel 1138, Star Wars news, and so much more. That's going to be a juicy, juicy little 5-minute sit-down, one-on-one